Okay. We are back for part 2 of Gold Derby's Creative Arts Emmy coverage. This is the only place that you can be watching the results announced live, and we're going to be here until the awards end, and we're here with Chris Beecham. And Chris, we've while we've been having a quick toilet break, there's been an award announced. What award has that been?
Yeah, they're in the sound editing categories, and I'll mention the nominees first, especially for people that'll be watching this later on. American Horror Story, Bonnie and Clyde, Fargo, Klondike, Mob City, and Sherlock is the winner.
Very good.
And they just also announced sound editing for nonfiction, Amazing Race, Anthony Bourdain, Cosmos, Vice, and the World Wars, and Cosmos is the winner there.
So finally Cosmos pulls out a win. That's great.
Yeah, I figured it would have won more by now, but
yeah.
Anyway, it's still got a few more to go.
Yeah, and what was the miniseries movie or special one, Chris? Sorry.
Sherlock.
Sherlock. Yeah, Sherlock. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
Sherlock,
like we said, we're in sound editing, and there's one more sound editing, and that's for a movie. No, for a series. I'm sorry. Let me back up a page. Those are probably be having a winner by the time I say all these names. Black Sails, Boardwalk, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and The Walking Dead. And last year's winner in this category was Boardwalk Empire.
Okay. I think it could be a Boardwalk versus Breaking Bad, perhaps showdown here.
Yeah, but I mean, Game of Thrones, that's very impressive. Walking Dead is very impressive.
Yeah,
I would guess Breaking Bad if you just put my
gun to your head.
Had to have an answer, and it's for the finale too.
Yeah, it's for the finale. Okay, that's good. Yeah, what's the Game of Thrones episode?
Watchers on the Wall.
That's a big battle episode. And the winner is Black Sails.
I would have, if you had asked me to put them in order, I would have put that last.
Yeah, I would have too.
Just because the competition is formidable there.
Yeah. And it's not just big name shows that nominate for drama series. These are shows with serious sound editing chops.
Just people, because you don't have the lineup in front of you, just to give you an idea, we're going through, let's see, that was award 28. The next guest acting award is all the way down at 48. So we're 20 awards away from comedy guest actor. But there's a lot of good stuff in between. We've got the four makeup awards next.
And we are joined by Gold Derby Chief Tom O'Neill. How are you enjoying the Creative Arts Emmys, Tom?
Good, because you guys are doing such a great job with commentary and follow-along. Well done. Oh, Matt, you've done your costume change. Oh, I'm very impressed.
Matt has agreed in the next hour to a tie and no shirt at all.
I have not agreed to that. I have not agreed to that.
And I like your set decoration, too, the books over your right shoulder.
Yeah, they're pretty good ones.
By the way, Black Sails. Let me put this in some context here. It's the Starz pirate show. Starz got 11 nominations. Was it this 11? They only got 3 nominations last year, but they won for like main title theme music, something like that, some music thing. And it was a big deal for this little cable channel. They really want to be a player in the Emmys. Chris Albrecht, the former HBO chief, is the chief over there. But they have a lot of those kind of, He-Man kind of shows, Spartacus they had, whatever it was called. But anyway, they're segueing now into more quality stuff. They have Outlander that they just put on. But one of the last of the kind of testosterone shows they have is this Black Sails, which has actually been quite successful for them in terms of viewers. But it's not a prestige show that people are watching. I'm just very glad they won something, because they're one of those networks like Lifetime and others that are increasing their nomination take every year, and then they finally win something, and that's pretty cool. I'm sure they won because sound editing awards, usually the loudest things win, while the pirates have all those cannons going off and guns there.
And they've done a lot of campaigning. They're really on the right track to just any second now they're going to have one of those shows that not only wins a lot of Emmys but has a lot of viewers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Outlander's already a huge hit. It just debuted, what, a week or two ago, and it's a breakout hit.
And
well, this is no shocker here. What just won?
Yeah.
Makeup for a movie or mini is The Normal Heart, and that was very impressive and very similar to the win at the Oscars this year for Dallas Buyers Club in the makeup category.
Yeah, a lot of Kaposi sarcomas, lesions win you awards, Hollywood.
Yeah. And I think with that stars thing, I do think like that really is a testament to the Mad Men legacy. The Mad Men came on the scene for AMC, was able to win Best Drama Series in its first year, and it really showed other networks, basic cable networks and smaller networks, you can compete at the Emmys if you produce good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, Chris, let's give the Allison Janney thing some context. She's at 5 now. If she wins next week, that's 6. She's in 3rd place. Fill us in a little bit more here.
Yeah, among performance wins, not talking about overall wins, in Emmy history. Sheila Evans has like 25 of those, and Carl Reiner has a ton. But just talking performance Emmys, the leader is Cloris Leachman in prime time with 8, and then Ed Asner and Mary Tyler Moore both have 7. But there's a tie among people like Carl Reiner, and Tim Conway, Art Carney, and I think there's one other name that have won 6 performance Emmys. Allison Janney before tonight had won 4 for The West Wing, so tonight she has 5. She's the overwhelming frontrunner next week for comedy supporting actress. So if she wins that 6th Emmy, she's tied for 3rd all time.
Yeah. And what a great call that is. Not just winning 7 guest acting awards, but that'd be 3 supporting, 2 lead, and a guest. Really well rounded in drama and comedy categories as well. So she wins next year. We've got makeup for a single camera series. Did we run through the nominees of those, Chris?
Yeah, we'll tell you the winner in a second, but the nominees were Boardwalk Empire, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, which won last year, Mad Men, and the winner tonight is True Detective.
So True Detective on its, I think, 2nd win of the night. So great job for them.
And by the way, that Normal Heart win a moment ago was its 1st of the night. It's not going to be like Behind the Candelabra, which just swept the Creative Arts, but it had a lot of technical aspects to it. Normal Heart will win a couple tonight, but wait till next week when it just cleans up.
Let me go through some notes about the winners over the first hour to put some things in perspective. Okay. Bob's Burgers. If you pay attention to the daytime Emmys, you knew that it was a threat here. A couple of years ago, it pulled off some win in the animation category there. People went, whoa, what was that? So it has already slain giants in the past. American Horror Story winning costumes. Remember that pilot they submitted goes back in time to the 1800s, and it has a lot of those frilly things that they don't have in the contemporary areas, portions of the show where the witches are in kind of plain black dresses, etc. And Matt mentioned the Purple Wedding thing was the costume thing for Game of Thrones. You had the dresses, you had the hair. But Chris, before we get to the award for comedy guest actress, you were saying earlier, Quiet and Subtle don't win, but you and I are both picking Laverne Cox. She's quiet and subtle there compared to Crazy Eyes, right?
You're right. It's one of those rare situations, though, that certain types of shows employ more than others. Lost was really good at this. Doing a backstory episode. So while she is a guest star, technically, this whole episode is built around her character and what her past was leading up to her coming to prison, and it's flashing back and forth. And I just think there's just a lot of impact. We talk about impact sometimes, and I would probably have picked Uzo, and she could certainly win. She's the funniest, maybe, but her scenes are just very, very short and brief, and not many of them.
And she's the opposite of huggable. She's really scary. I don't want to let her in my... Matt, who do you have for that category, comedy guest actress?
Comedy guest actress, I have Crazy Eyes. I think it's just Uzo. I think she's the iconic, memorable, quirky character that can win here. And I sort of yesterday likened it to when Christian Clemenson was able to win for Boston Legal. Very different performances, but I think appeals to that very sticks in your mind and just a lovable but quirky sort of.
She's not lovable. She's scary. She's awful.
She's scary, but she's got the tics. She's got a sort of like, I don't think she's got the empathy, but I think she just stays with you and sort of, she's the fun character. She's a fun character of the show, I think.
And Saturday Night Live just won makeup category.
Yes.
They won last year as well. Somebody help me out that's in the thread right now, because I think, has SNL won 2 tonight?
Yes.
I think so.
They set the record last year for a series over its run by picking up their 40th win last year. So now, if that's correct that they've won 2 tonight, they're just making that record more unattainable by getting their 41st and 42nd.
Yes.
And prosthetic makeup is Game of Thrones. That was just announced.
Okay. Game of Thrones continuing its haul, and again, it'll be interesting to see how many Game of Thrones can rack up, since it's the show that led with the most nominations, and a lot of those nominations are for today. What's the next category we've got, Chris?
Well, we have already done sound editing, all of those, but now we've got sound mixing, and there's 5 of those, and the first one is for variety.
Did we get the winner for makeup for a single camera non-prosthetic?
Let me go back. We did, but I would have to go back.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
What were the nominees, if you've got them in front of you?
Makeup for a single camera non-prosthetic.
Was True Detective one?
True Detective, yeah, True Detective one.
It was the winner.
Yeah, True Detective, Mad Men, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and Boardwalk Empire. But yes, we did announce that. Sorry.
Yeah, somebody's is confirming hairstyling and makeup for Saturday Night Live. So they've gotten 2 more. They're almost always a threat to win for variety series directing, and that could give them a 3rd one tonight. And obviously, still a Jimmy Fallon or they got 4 guest acting nominations, so they may keep moving right along tonight.
Definitely.
But sound mixing, I was about to. Tell you the variety nominees. Here we go. The Grammys won here last year, and this year you've got the Beatles special, produced by our friend Ken Ehrlich, and the Grammys produced by Ken Ehrlich, Kennedy Center Honors, the Oscars, and The Voice.
Oh.
If I had to guess, I would say the Beatles.
Yes, which Ken Ehrlich also produced.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that's received as a show where they just keep on going with the award shows and things that win here from time to time. But yeah, I'd go with the Beatles as well.
I was looking to see, that was a special that was just a couple of nights later, and I was looking to see if they had some of the same nominees, and Tom Holmes might be the only one of the group that's nominated both times. Ken Ehrlich was telling us on our chat he had to put together 2 teams working on 2, projects at the same time that were going to be very close together.
I'm getting cozy here.
Yes.
On my couch in New York.
After this sound mixing, we'll have sound mixing for nonfiction, and those are Amazing Race, American Masters, which was the Jimi Hendrix night that they did. That could be good. Anthony Bourdain, Cosmos, and Deadliest Catch. Last year it was an Eagles special on Showtime that won.
Hey Ralph, who did you get on the red carpet? You're talking about the red carpet in the chat room. Who did you interview, you and Marcus? Did you get Crazy Eyes video?
Waiting on Mark. So what's the category after that, Chris?
There's 5 overall sound mixing. The 3rd sound mixing will be comedy or drama series, and the 1-hour versions, and that's Breaking Bad, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, Homeland, and House of Cards. Winner last year was Boardwalk Empire, which doesn't have a nomination this time.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, would you have a pick there, Chris?
A pick? I would go. I think it's safe generally at this stage of the night to go with Game of Thrones. And that is your favorite that you talked about earlier, the Watchers on the Wall episode.
Yeah, like it was my favorite episode, but it's definitely very showy in terms of special effects and sound mixing. It's just a pretty much hour-long battle.
And backing up to the first sound mixing, it is the Grammy Awards, which is a repeat from last year. Tom, did you have any thoughts on Joe Martin and Allison Janney?
I had some thoughts on Janney on that category. I disagree with you about the Jane Fonda thing, Chris. She had more than one scene. She's drunk in that episode. She's crazy in that episode. She's eccentric. They're not big scenes earlier on. Then you've got the big impactful scene at the end. Yeah. And it really ends in a dynamic way where Sam Waterston screams, "But Leona, we've lost the trust of the public," and she slams her fist down and says, "Get it back." It's great. But I think Janney's just an awards magnet. There's something so compelling and magnetic about her, and there's something too that touches a raw nerve in all of us when we watch her perform, whatever it is. If you see her on Broadway in 9 to 5, which I saw, she just nailed it. She's amazing. I don't know. I don't think she was the best in this category, but I think I know why she won.
Oh, I think we were talking earlier. I'm sure you heard us. I mean, we felt like it was Janney or Burton, and to be, from my perspective, anybody else beyond those two would have been somewhat of a surprise.
Yeah.
Based on their episodes.
And what's the next acting category we've got coming up, Chris?
We're a few away. We're about.
We're a few away from that one still.
We're at least 15 categories away. It'll be comedy guest actor.
Yeah. Okay, we've got the sound mixing for a non-fiction program has gone to American Masters. American Masters has taken that one out.
Yeah, I was saying a moment ago when I looked at the list, like, okay, that last year the Eagles retrospective one, and here you had a Jimi Hendrix documentary, and I felt like maybe that would be the one there.
Yeah. So that's very good for that show, and we've got so like Tom, how much stock do you think we should put in tonight? Heading into next week at the Emmys. If a show does well tonight, does that mean they'll do well next week or not?
No, as you mentioned earlier tonight, and in the Slugfest the other day, look at Boardwalk Empire. Game of Thrones have swept these in the past, and they came up with Squat on Emmy night. Boardwalk Empire hasn't even been nominated for series in a long time. So, no, it really doesn't. That's the peculiar thing, and it has to do with the judging panel process, episode submissions, and all of that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And we've got in the chat room people going, "What's up with Cosmos?" I predicted Cosmos on that one. Good American Masters, but yeah, this Cosmos thing is interesting. Cosmos is really not having as good a night as people in the chat room were expecting.
I was disappointed in this Cosmos. I really liked the first one, and so I don't know. I thought it was very lightweight in terms of its gushing. Instead of Neil deGrasse going for more concrete things, he chose to gush instead. Oh, the wonder and the splendor and the mystery of. I watched them all. Of the universe. It's like, oh, come on. In matter of fact, I attended the premiere of it in Los Angeles. They did a big event near the Hollywood Bowl with under a big tent, and they had a simulcast with various premieres around the country. It was really quite something. But
sound mixing for a comedy or drama series. Sound mixing for a comedy or drama series, 1 hour. We have a new show opening their account tonight. House of Cards has won the sound mixing award.
wow.
Yeah.
Netflix is doing really well tonight.
Ralph and Marcus, who did you interview on the red carpet tonight?
Yeah.
They're busy chatting with people backstage. They don't.
I know.
Kevin Baker.
By the way, where they're at. Let me paint the picture of where they're at.
Yes.
The press room at the Creative Arts is downstairs. You have to go into the dungeon of the Nokia Theater. They have this very weak Wi-Fi. Everyone's trying to tap it. So you really just have it's internet is terrible there. They try to make you buy the hardwire, the Ethernet connection for like $1,200 or $1,500. It's a scam. So we're too cheap to do that, of course. So we rely on the Wi-Fi. But it's fun because a lot of press does not go to the Creative Arts. There may be 20 people total in that room compared to next week when there will be as many as maybe as 200 in the press room. But in all cases, we get the best seating. Gold Derby gets front and center, and they take good care of us over there.
That's great. And yeah, I'm sure Marcus and Ralph will have plenty of stories. Sound mixing for a comedy drama half hour and animation has gone to Nurse Jackie. Nurse Jackie has won the first award of the night.
Huh.
That was I don't know that I would have projected that one in that particular
way. I couldn't have seen it. There's nothing remarkable about the sound mixing on the show. It had to be the episode.
And there's one more sound mixing category, and that's a mini-series or a movie. American Horror Story, Fargo, Killing Kennedy, Sherlock, and Treme.
Yes.
After that, just to give people an idea of what's coming up, they're presenting a posthumous Governor's Award to Marion Doherty, casting director who passed away. And then we've got some categories that I really love, and that's the music categories. There's 4 of those plus main title, 5 of those plus main title design, and so that's coming up right after there. So we're going to have, I'm guessing, a good 5-minute swing here after this next sound mixing category to maybe do a little recapping. We're also inviting in another one of our forums users, Dylan Tucker. Will be here in just a minute.
Yeah.
Dylan is the prestigious winner of one of Gold Derby's contests in the past. I forget which one. We'll have to ask him.
Yeah. And then I've got something exciting that I've prepared for our recap when we get to that. So you can look forward to that, guys. I think I did this a couple of years ago on one of our live shows.
So Matt, you and I are going for Jimmy Fallon for comedy, and this is sticking with his buddy Bob Newhart.
Okay. You got grilled about this, Chris, yesterday on the chat. Why are you sticking with Bob Newhart?
I had Jimmy Fallon in first forever, and it was kind of when I went back and watched everything, I was reminded of it was one of those rare occasions. Normally you've got your host and then you've got your musical guest, and because Justin was the musical guest, they were basically co-hosting the whole night. So I just don't know that Jimmy got the showcase that he did 2 years ago. And when I went back to watch Bob's, I just thought, this is funnier than I even remember. And here was the thing about his episode that might help him this year as opposed to another year, with them looking at the whole thing and not just his scenes. This is an episode where his character has passed away, and every moment he's not on screen, they're talking about his death, they're going to his funeral. It's like he's in the whole episode even though he's not. So it was just a hunch. I just after sometimes you just get those hunches. I may be completely wrong. I think it's one of those two. I think one of those two will win.
They both won in the past 2 years, but last year they were not nominated together. Fallon, having won 2 years ago, was not nominated last year, so we've not seen them go head-to-head yet.
Right. And Fallon doesn't show up to these things. So, you're talking about a small group. I don't think that really matters, but it's just a hunch. It's just a hunch.
Well, that makes, now I want to change back to I ditched. See, this is what the danger of last-minute predictions. I ditched Bob Newhart just yesterday after watching the other Slugfest that you guys did, and then switched over to Fallon. Damn.
Well, I said at the very top, I had the deathly fear that I was going to get all 4 guest acting categories wrong tonight, because I wasn't 100% sold on any of them. Unlike next week, where there's several things I'm very sold on. So at least I got Joe Morton right, no matter what else happens.
Matt, what's your argument for Fallon?
I just think we see these beloved personas like Tina Fey, Justin Timberlake, and Jimmy Fallon himself win these guest acting awards. There's obviously something about these reels that really stands out to voters, and we haven't seen supporting it pay off, but we've definitely seen in guest, and someone they're prepared to reward here for that. They gave it to him 2 years ago, so that's sort of my thinking on it. We have heard from Ralph some of the names. Some of the names of the people he's interviewed on the red carpet: Uzo, Laverne, Seth Green, Bob Newhart, Chris, Preston, Fargo creators, DeGrasse Tyson, Orange is the New Black casting, and someone from Fargo, I think. And Fargo casting.
Way to go, Ralph and Marcus. All right.
So Ralph is all over it.
And just to finish up sound mixing, Treme was the other winner there, the miniseries.
Treme.
I would say that's a surprise.
Yeah, and Daniel Montgomery will be very happy, a huge Treme fan.
He's in Ireland. We won't even tell him.
Yeah.
Dylan, your camera's not coming through, so swirl your mouse around on your screen till you find that little gear shift thing. Go to settings and change the camera setting. Or maybe the camera shows up if you do that, right? Yes, it does. So you don't have to go to the camera thing. Go to the little video.
Let's see. Oh, no. Just waiting for Dylan to join the chat. Gold Derby forum poster, and hopefully he gets the webcam sorted soon. So now we've got for the Governor's Award a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reprise or a reprise. I don't know. Anyway, we've got one of them, and I've been working on a board to keep tally of how the shows are doing at the Emmys today. So I might as well just show that up. Here we go. We've got all these shows on one Emmy win. We've got only the best technology at Gold Derby. We've got all these.
It looks like a ransom note.
Yeah, it is a ransom note of Emmy winners. I haven't put in some of the shows. Okay, I didn't print off logos for some of the shows. But there you go. That's how we're going. Game of Thrones leading on 3 at the moment. They had the most nominations, so no surprise here. And we've got at the very top, we've got at 9 West Wing. That's how many West Wing was able to win first season.
You're living in a time warp, Noble.
So, well, let's see if anyone can beat the West Wing record tonight. Obviously, the West Wing did that over the Primetime Emmys as well as the Creative Arts Emmys. So, they've got 2 weeks to try and beat that West Wing total. Let's see if anyone can do it.
Let's welcome Dylan Tucker. Dylan, what was the contest you won for us? I forget.
I think you might be thinking of the time I scored. I think I was like top 10 in Oscar predictions.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, for the nominations.
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, good to have you back here. Give us what's top of mind for you here as you're joining us.
I'm really interested in the guest categories. I went safe with Jimmy Fallon, and then I also picked Uzo Aduba, but I'm really nervous about that because a lot of big names have won the category in the past, like Tina Fey, Gwyneth Paltrow, so I'm worried about Joan Cusack.
Well, we've got music categories coming up next. I really like those. There's a lot of familiar names if you follow. I listen to a lot of like musical scores from movies and stuff, and music direction is first. That's the guys and girls that do the direction, like the conductors at events. You've got Barbra Streisand Back to Brooklyn special. You've got the Beatles Night That Changed America. You've got the Oscars. You've got SNL's musical direction team. Sound of Music Live, and the Tony Awards. That's a really strong group.
Yeah.
And was that music and lyrics?
No, this is music direction. The conductors.
Music direction. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Tonys?
The Tonys won last year.
Yeah.
My feeling, well, you've got so many different types of projects here. Again, I would go with the Beatles.
Mm.
Oh, right.
I think what the Sound of Music people did was very impressive. You know, with a full orchestra live. Not that these others weren't live, but it was a live Broadway production, basically.
Mm.
So anybody else got a prediction there? The Tonys did win last year.
I'll go with Tonys.
Tonys as well.
I'll go Tonys, yeah.
After that, we've got original music and lyrics. This category in recent years has been won by, we mentioned him earlier, Justin Timberlake, Andy Samberg. The Tonys won last year for one of their songs. This year, you've got the Tonys have another song again this year. Interesting thing there is one of the co-writers is Lin-Manuel Miranda, who has already won a Tony Award, has already won a Grammy Award, so he could get the third piece of an EGOT if he wins tonight.
He's the guy they stashed in the basement at the Tonys to write the rap lyrics as the ceremony goes on. So in other words, they when Neil Patrick Harris famously does the rap songs, and he's managed to bring in all of the events that have happened before. Of course, you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to give the crazy acceptance speech. So you know it's being written live. They strap down Lin-Manuel in the basement, and he cranks these out, and he does a great job with them.
Well, he's up for a new Tony Award, so probably that song there. Sons of Anarchy has a song. Sophia the First, no idea what that is. It's a Disney Channel show. Saturday Night Live, again, another opening. Well, actually, it was a song from one of their digital shorts. Interesting thing there, though, is Kate McKinnon, who's up next week for Comedy Supporting Actress, is nominated there, along with her co-star Adie Bryant. Key and Peele have a song from their show and a song from the Christmas Carol, the concert. And the man that wrote that did an interview with us. See, Tom, a lot of our interview people this summer have been winning, so maybe that's going to be the winner.
Jane Fonda did one. She lost. Poor thing.
She lost to Allison Janney, who did.
Yeah, she did. That's true. That's true. Oh, I know where they're going to take him. I've told them all that.
The guy, I'm trying to think of his name, the editor that Rob interviewed, that cried at the end of his interview, is it Bill Turro? He won tonight. The casting director from Orange is the New Black won tonight. So a lot of our interview people are winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dylan, let's get in a fight. Let's get in a fight about Uzo versus Laverne Cox. Give us your argument, your best argument for Uzo.
Okay, the best argument for Uzo, I think Matt summed it up pretty well, is that she has the flashy scenes. I know she doesn't have a lot of screen time. I think someone clocked it at around 5 minutes. So she's not in the episode all that much because it's about Laverne Cox, but she's the funniest. Laverne Cox is really dramatic. Uzo has the I will cut you scene, and then of course she pees on the floor at the end. So she has the ending scene as well. I think she's been all over the campaign recently, so I think people know how different she is from her character. So I think that helps her.
I just am so moved by the whole Laverne Cox storyline, and it's socially relevant. It's all those things. And Chris brought up a great point when we were chatting, I think off air recently, Chris, about the firehouse scene in the beginning. Give us your theory about that.
I know she has said this in interviews, but honestly, when I saw it, I didn't know that was her brother. I know now, and I know a few weeks ago, but I mean, how many voters know that? I mean, I would have given her extra gumption credit, points if I was sitting there as a voter and I didn't know that fact, thinking, wow, she's going really far for her craft here.
The problem with her otherwise is she doesn't have a big flashy scene. She has the little scenes where she kind of sniffles a few times and things, but she doesn't have the big boo-hoo-hoo scene.
But Chris, you're all about the comedy and the comedy categories, so who would you give your vote to?
in this category?
Yeah.
This category doesn't please me all that much, I gotta say. I'm not a fan of Orange being in the comedy categories in the first place. So for it to have half the slots, and then you've got Tina Fey and Melissa McCarthy, I'm not a fan of Variety being in this category. So I might just throw my vote to Joan Cusack just because of those reasons.
Were you happy with Shameless switching categories, Chris?
But Matt, Joan Cusack's episode's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good. She's got some good stuff there. She's respected. She was getting nominated in the drama guest acting category. She's now getting nominated in the comedy guest acting category. I guess she was never able to win drama actress, and I know it's a different field and things, but I guess that's why I went with, I didn't go with Joan Cusack, because I said, oh, she hasn't won for this yet. Like, maybe it's just not a winning performance. We've got from Ralph in the chat room, the Music Direction Award has gone to the Beatles. So, Chris, you're all right, man. Beatles beat the Tonys there.
Well, I thought it would have won a couple by now, so that's really good.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's give this some context. The people who produce the Beatles produce the Grammys, and they always get stiffed by the Tonys all the time. And I hear it from behind the scenes, by the way, that they're furious that the Tonys always upstaging them. Well, let's be honest, the Grammys is a much more difficult show to stage. They don't even get nominated most of the time in that category for program. So when they have these little victories over the Tonys here, it's kind of great for them.
Yeah, I feel like the next category could be big for the Tonys, though, with Neil Patrick Harris winning music and lyrics. Oh, not him winning, but his opening number winning music and lyrics. Because I remember watching that, just thinking, that's such an impressive accomplishment, that song, which is bigger, where he does magic and sings this great song that has slow points and fast points and sort of like an almost little rap verse in it and things. It's just a very, very showy song. It's called Bigger, and it is probably bigger than all the other nominees. So my pick for the next category would be the Tonys.
Well, Dylan, while we're waiting on the next one, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll catch you on another event down the road.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Okay, good to see you, Dylan. Thanks.
Ryan Showers will be up next as one of our forums users.
Cosmos takes another award. Check it out.
Music composition for a series, dramatic score, Cosmos.
Oh, okay. We didn't know
off a rally here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we skipped over that one.
Oh, now listen, that's Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri's been doing composing in movies for decades, and actually I have a lot of music scores here. He did Back to the Future. He did Forrest Gump. He's an incredible composer. I'm so glad he won tonight.
Yeah, as Halo Insider points out, second win for Cosmos. That's right.
He does a lot of the Robert Zemeckis movies.
Oh.
And other things too, but that's really great that he won that. So we didn't know that one was next. We thought music and lyrics was next. Actually, if I had read my sheet right, I would have seen that. Main title, theme.
I'm looking at the sheet now. So main title, theme music is next. The theme song, I was a bit disappointed not to see. It's very short, but I was a bit sad not to see the Brooklyn Nine-Nine theme music make it in here. I thought that was that was just a great little tune. Probably not deserved to win, but so
Alan Silvestri is up here again, so you could see a double. Double win.
Stay on the stage, Alan.
We're being joined here by Ryan Showers. Ryan, your profile picture is up instead of your.
Oh, there he is.
I can see him.
Hi.
There you are. Excellent. So, give us your best argument for who you're picking for comedy actress.
I'm picking Cox because of the social relevance. I mean, I know Uzo has the funnier bits, I guess, or the more, I wouldn't say funnier, but the more obnoxious or showy. So, I don't know. It's a tough call, but I'm gonna go with Cox.
Well, Chris and I agree. Matt does not. So we're ganging up on you, Matt. Are you getting nervous?
It's no, I'm not nervous. Crazy Eyes is going to pull this out. We're gonna, you guys are gonna be in trouble at the
It's
end
a
of this.
hard category, and they put it at the very end of the night too.
Yeah. Oh, it's the big thing. Okay. So we've got Cosmos has won Best Main Title Theme Music. So that is 3 wins. It's now on my board, tying Game of Thrones. They're both up there on 3. There we go.
It may win the next one. The next category is Main Title Design, and that's not your music. That's your title design graphics. You know that, and there's always something new because obviously you know an older show's already got its graphics for years. And Cosmos is up there. Black Sails, Masters of Sex, Silicon Valley, and True Detective. The winner in this category last year was Da Vinci's Demons.
And a Stars show, that's right. So, Ryan, do you follow these creative arts? Do you have any thoughts on wins so far tonight?
Well, I'm thrilled about Allison Janney. I was blown away by Masters of Sex, and I'm glad that she won for the reason that of how her character was explored with throughout the series, and that she was still able to compete in the guest category instead of supporting. Like, she was a fully developed character, very compact but concise. So I hope that starts a new wave of bigger a lot more movie stars, I guess, coming to television to take on roles like Allison Janney had. And I thought she was great in the character as well. So, and I was kind of disappointed with not disappointed, I knew it was happening, but I'm a big Good Wife fan, and I wanted to see Dylan Baker win. Even though I know his submission wasn't as good as it has been in past years, but, you know.
So you were rooting for Dylan over Josh, huh?
I was. I mean, I want one of the actors from The Good Wife to win this year, and I still have hope that I'm predicting Juliana and Josh to win next week, but I'm just antsy after the big snub with drama series and writing and directing, you know. So.
Are you related to Rob LaCuria?
Well, I see. Well, in the Slugfest videos, I saw a lot of myself in his views too. So.
but Rob's a lawyer in real life. Are you a lawyer in real life?
No. I'm still in college.
Oh. Well, tell us about yourself. What college do you go to school at?
I go to Penn State.
Oh.
Yes, and I'm a journalism major, and I love entertainment. I love movies. I love television. I've grown with television. Before, I only had my certain shows that I watched, but with The Good Wife's monumental season this year, I decided to branch out and explore, and that's how I got so invested in the Emmys this year. So, and I've gotten to experience a lot of great shows. I'm glad I've gotten to. So, but my forte is the Oscars. So, I mean, I don't know how accurate my Emmy predicting is. I've been doing the Oscars for about 6 years now. So that's
how long have you been making predictions at Gold Derby?
Just at the daytime Emmys and the Emmys this year. Oh. I used Gold Derby since last fall. Whenever Lupita and Jennifer Lawrence were competing for Best Supporting Actress this past year at the Oscars, I literally checked Gold Derby every day to see who was updating their predictions. It was such a close race. Like, I didn't know. I mean, I guess it was Lupita because Jennifer won the year before, but it was still pretty close.
You looked at me changing over, and that's what did it for you, right?
Yeah.
We've got some award winners to announce. Main title theme design has gone to True Detective. True Detective is one that I think is very deserving when they have a great opening title sequence. And and also best music composition for a mini-series, movie, or special. Do you have the nominees of them in front of you, Chris? Do you want to read through them before announcing the winner, or?
Yeah, it was American Horror Story, Clear History, Fargo, Her Block, which was a documentary on HBO, The White Queen, and the winner there is Sherlock, which is doing really well tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means Sherlock and True Detective are now in the lead on 3 with Game of Thrones and Cosmos. We've got a 4-way tie for first place at the moment.
Wow.
So one more music category, which is music and lyrics, and we already went through those nominees. Then just to let people know, we've got 2 technical direction categories. We've got 2 lighting designs, and then comedy guest actor.
Big one.
So Ryan, how did you?
Awards away from that one, and then we'll take another break.
So Ryan, did you predict Dylan would win? What were your actual?
Oh no, I wasn't predicting him out. He was my number 5, I think. I went out on a limb, and I'm saying Nathan Lane will win for Modern Family. I mean,
okay.
I know everyone else is in favor of Fallon, but I don't. I have a feeling it's gonna be Nathan Lane. So
Interesting.
plus, I'm kind of hoping it's Nathan Lane because I was anticipating him getting a second nomination for The Good Wife this year, but that didn't happen. So I hope that he wins for something.
But Chris, Nathan Lane has never won an Emmy, and he keeps getting nominated, right? His heart's broken all the time.
He's had a ton of them. He had 2 last year. They really made a mistake on him, I felt, having watched the whole season of Modern Family. Early in the year, when they're really starting to plan the wedding, he had much more of an episode than, by the time the wedding rolled around, the wedding planner is part of the bigger ensemble. Everybody's got good stuff going on. So Lin-Manuel Miranda now has the 3 pieces of the EGOT. The Tony Awards did win for music and lyrics.
And we're very glad about that because Lin-Manuel is a big fan of Gold Derby. Whenever I'm at an event and he's at it in New York, he will scream across the room, "Yay, go Gold Derby!" He loves this.
How many directors of films will he be calling now to try to write a song for their movie?
Right.
I could honestly see. What was the name of his Broadway musical that won? My mind is not.
In the Heights.
I could see a movie adaptation of that at some point. That could be his ticket to an Oscar. Okay,
I have a question
technical
for you.
direction. Technical direction. The first one is for a mini-series or movie. These are the guys, they don't direct the project, but they're the ones barking out all the orders to all the people, all the cameramen, all the stuff like that. So the guys you see at the controls.
So it doesn't just mean, well, they technically directed it, but we got someone more famous in to take the credit.
That's what we do
what
from home when we're watching. We technically direct it.
Yeah.
You've got the Oscars, the Olympic winter ceremony, the Sound of Music Live, and the Tony Awards. And last year's winner here was the Tony Awards. I'll go Olympics. I think that is a monumental task.
Do you think in any way that, and I don't want to get too political in this podcast, that the Olympics could be hurt since Sochi or Russia is quite a controversial place for the Olympics to have been, given everything that's happened in the past couple of months? Because usually the Olympics is a slam dunk to win these awards.
Right.
The Summer Olympics were up for several last year and didn't win nearly as many as we thought.
Okay. So maybe just the Olympics aren't as hot as they used to be. But yes, Sochi, the Oscars. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Tonys. I feel like that's where they might win. But I was right about music and lyrics. I was wrong about music directions. So who knows?
So Ryan, I'm looking at your predictions now. You went with Robert Morse for guest actor, but you had Joe Morton in second. So what was your thinking there?
Just that I'm not the biggest Scandal fan. I think you have to have an acquired taste for Scandal, and I don't have it.
I don't either. I just watched the episode and thought he might win. Scandal to me is just silly. I mean, I'm sorry whoever that offends, but
I love it. I love it.
I can't. I mean, the only time I ever watch it is for Emmy episodes, and it's
awful.
It should be on in daytime. I mean, it is just silly.
In my last blog post, I said something like, if Kerry Washington wanted to win, she should have submitted for the daytime Emmys instead of the primetime Emmys, because I don't even take it seriously. It's not even on par with Juliana or Claire Danes or Robin Wright, and I really hope that that him winning supporting actor, guest actor tonight isn't foreshadowing a Kerry upset at the Emmys next week. Because if she wins, it would just be completely undeserved.
Well, Tom, I'm just remembering back to last week, too. Not only did Joe Morton do a video interview with us this summer, but you and he got in a little Twitter discussion for about half an hour last week.
That's our new thing, is interviewing people on Twitter. It's a blast. It's with Ricky Gervais, his 5 million followers were all following along, and we've never done it before. Ricky started us doing this because we had done a video with him, and then he said, "What can we do next?" He goes, "I've got it. Let's do a chat on Twitter." And I said, "Well, all right," and then he thought it was going to be a very, very serious chat, and I just asked really outrageous questions like, "When is it ever okay to kill to win an Emmy?" Ricky was perfect, and then that got us on a roll with our Joe Morton. So they were contacting us to see if we could do something with him again, and I said, "Well, you know what? Yeah, let's try the live Q&A back and forth," and it was a lot of fun. He had great answers. It's frustrating to do them because it takes people a while to think of clever answers or impactful answers and then answer in 140 characters. So there's a delay of the question, a delay of the answer. But yet I think it adds an element of drama to the whole thing and suspense. It's kind of fun.
That technical direction award has gone to Sound of Music Live. Sound of Music Live is scored a run now, and Ed in the chat room, Chris, talking about the silliness of and whether it should be a daytime show of Scandal, says Homeland was a soap opera for season 3,
and it shouldn't win anything for that season.
It should. But
it is yet to.
I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't say that it's nearly on the same level in tone as Scandal is. Scandal, I think, almost wants to be a soap opera, and Homeland at least tried to maintain a serious tone.
There are times on Scandal where you fully expect the organ music going into the break.
It's so outrageous. People killing the president's son, and Joe Morton. I asked him in our Twitter chat, "What's the most evil thing that your character's done?" He goes, "Killing the president's son." It's just hilariously over the top.
We've
One
got
more technical direction category. Last year, this was won by Big Bang Theory, and it's up again against Daily Show. This is for a series: Daily Show, Dancing with the Stars, Jimmy Kimmel Live, SNL, and The Voice. I don't really know. You would think one of the more elaborate shows would win here.
Like a Saturday Night Live, you think, because it's a live show, and they change sets and costumes, and there'd be more balls in the air. You would think, but if Big Bang Theory won it last year, maybe it could win it again.
Well, it just was announced, Dancing with the Stars.
Oh.
Okay, that's another live show, I guess.
2 more categories, and then we've got comedy guest actor, and we'll switch up people that are on with us at that stage. But lighting design, those 2 categories are next, and I've got to find those pages.
What were they? Lighting design. Okay.
The 2 lighting design. Oh, here we are, right here. It's nice when they're alphabetical. The first of the 2 will be variety series, and America's Got Talent. That might be the only time that show and Emmy have been in the same sentence. Dancing with the Stars, SNL, Tonight Show, and The Voice. I will say about this Tonight Show episode, it was the premiere, the debut of Jimmy Fallon, and they had U2 on the roof of 30 Rock. So that would be, if I was a lighting designer, that would really catch my attention. That's something totally out of the box.
Ryan, do you watch the episodes now that you've discovered Gold Derby and we get obsessed with them and drill down? How much of those do you watch?
Oh, I watched all of them. Within it's funny because I put the Gold Derby tweets on push notifications to my phone, so I got a notification every time Gold Derby tweeted something, waiting for the episode submissions. And I had most of the drama series submissions already seen, within the last month before nominations. So it didn't take me very long to get through the drama ones, and I watched most of the comedy ones, but I didn't get to every single one. but all the drama ones were a piece of cake. So.
Were there any submissions that you were really impressed by, Ryan, that sort of surprised you and go, oh boy, that's a real contender now?
Well, whenever I first watched Juliana and Claire Danes, their submissions, like the very first time, like back in March for The Good Wife, and whenever Homeland first aired, I knew that those two would be the tapes that both actresses would submit, and I was really impressed with those. I wasn't happy with Christine Baranski's pick. I mean, I know why she did it, and she explained it in her talk with you guys, but I wish she would have went with Outside the Bubble. Anna Gunn's was perfect. I mean, how many times in a career do you get to do that? So she picked perfectly. I wanted Bryan Cranston to go with Granite State, not Ozymandias. I know why he went with it, but Granite State is better in my opinion. And I was a big fan of McConaughey in True Detective. I thought he was so fresh and unique and innovative in the first 6 episodes. And I wish he would have picked like episode 4 or 5. But to me, it felt like he sold out for the big scene at the end of episode 8. So that disappointed me. But I mean, he's gonna win either way. So
no, he's not.
I know. I was waiting for that. But I don't see your argument, Tom. I just don't like. He already has how many? 3 Emmys. I just don't. And McConaughey's so big, and he's like, I feel like the Emmys will try to impress them, like the Academy will, and they'll just want to like he's the celebrity in this. I mean, like I know everyone's a celebrity, but he's like this special person. You know, everybody wants to.
If they vote on the episodes, there is, as you've well pointed out, McConaughey did not submit the best. He does have this crying scene at the end. But of the 6 episodes, there's one that towers over all the others.
He's very good on Woody's, though.
Yeah, you're all wrong. Woody Harrelson's going to win.
Is that who you're picking?
Yeah, I'm picking Woody Harrelson.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've had a lighting design. The category we were already talking about was Dancing with the Stars, and then the other lighting design is the finally the Winter Olympics win something. So we're now to guest actor in a comedy.
Hey!
Roll through the nominees real quick. Steve Buscemi for Portlandia. You've got I don't have it in front of me. Louis C.K. and Jimmy Fallon, both for SNL. You've got Gary Cole for Veep. You've got Bob Newhart for Big Bang Theory. And who am I leaving out?
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane for Modern Family.
So who can finally win that Emmy now that we were talking about a couple minutes ago? Yeah. So, boy, Chris is going with Newhart. Me and Tom. Who are you going for, Tom? Is it Fallon?
Fallon,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I predicted Fallon too.
I could easily see that. And he's so well liked. And he's now the host of The Tonight Show.
This
I
could be
regret it, but I just watched the episodes, and that was my opinion when I finished.
This could be a big year for Jimmy Fallon at the Emmys. He's definitely in the race for Variety Series next week, and if he can take an acting award this week too, like, you know, it could be a really big year for him.
And who do you have? Oh, you have Fallon, Ryan, right? Okay.
But one of you said you've got a feeling about Nathan Lane, possibly.
I do, but Fallon's the safer choice, I guess. I don't know. If Fallon doesn't win, it's gonna be Lane. He'll be a spoiler.
Then why do you have Bob Newhart in second place, Ryan? Your ranking is Jimmy, Bob, and then Nathan.
I haven't updated since, but it's been in my mind like all day.
Okay.
I did this, a few nights ago.
Just grilling you here. Okay.
Yeah, but what I was asking, I'm gonna ask you.
Here we go. You're all right. Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, really?
Fallon wins the Emmy.
Baby.
Saturday Night Live moves up to 3 Emmys as well.
Chris, you said about Nathan Lane's episode choice for Modern Family. Do you think, like, how many? And this is a question for everybody. Do you think the actors actually pick the episodes, or do you think their studios or somebody else picks their episodes?
It's all a mixture. It's totally dependent on the situation. Some really like to be involved. Some ask us for help. Some totally allow the studio or the network to pick. It's just a wide mix.
I don't even know that they're supposed to pick an episode. Like when we told Taylor Schilling, I think it was Ralph who was with her at the TV Academy, she freaked out, or it was Marcus. And yeah, they're so ignorant, the stars are, about episode submissions, all of the contenders, that sometimes, you know, like Juliana Margulies has an assistant she likes to have pick them. You know, we ask them who actually does their selection. Sometimes the publicist does. In the case of like FX and Showtime and HBO, the network is very, very involved in the selection.
Well, I feel like they should. I feel like they don't think about episodes submissions the way we do, people who analyze the Emmys and predict them in-depthly. And I feel like if everybody was well informed, it would be the races would be a lot different than what they are.
Well, they do. As a matter of fact, as many as 15 to 20% of the episodes that are submitted every year at the Emmys are based on Goldberg's recommendations. I mean,
oh really?
Chris Beecham picked Amy Poehler this year, talked her out of one episode and went with another. That's true of a lot of the stars.
Well, I help about 10 to 12 people every year, and that was the case this year. But back to what you just said, before I watch things for them and go back and give them my recommendation, I go through the forums myself. I want to make sure I haven't overlooked something, or what is the consensus here, or those kinds of things. So I know I use the forums, and I'm sure other people do too. I know several. Tom works with some of these network people and studio people, and they read everything.
Well, then why didn't somebody help Robin Wright with her submission? I mean, I'm like, I kind of had a feeling.
We don't know the answer to that. We have to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, like I had a feeling she would submit that because there is no emotional scene. I mean, Chapter 17 is a good episode in terms of screen time for her and scope, but it doesn't have a big bam scene, and for that reason, I still think it would be between Danes and Margulies, even if she would have submitted Chapter 17. I see why she went with it. Went with the one she submitted, Chapter 26, with the crying scene, but that completely takes her out of it. You can't win a lead trophy for 5 minutes of screen time,
Unless you are Alison Janney, in which case you can win a lead drama trophy for 5 minutes.
The Women of Kumar, that's right.
Yeah,
but she had
a great episode. Yeah, and look, I'm not saying that was the wrong decision by voters either.
But she had a speech, Matt. She had a speech at the podium.
She had a great speech, yeah.
Well, listen, they're doing a memoriam segment right now. It's a perfect place to make a switch over. We're going to put a new video screen at the top. We'll let you know when to refresh. Thank you, Ryan. Tom, do you want to stay with us, or you want to take a break?
No, let me take a break. I can come in later.
Okay.
Charlie Bright's joining you too, right?
Yeah, we'll send everybody give us about 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll be back.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks
Brian.
a lot.